What evidence do we have that God keeps his promises? One key piece of evidence is what God has done in response to the promise he made to David back in 2 Samuel chapter 7. That promise is known as the Davidic covenant. And in Psalm 89, the psalmist tells us we should have encouragement from the fact that God made that promise and he has kept it. Listen to Psalm 89, starting in verse 1. I will sing of the steadfast love of the Lord forever. With my mouth I will make known your faithfulness to all generations. For I said, steadfast love will be built up forever. In the heavens you will establish your faithfulness. You have said, I have made a covenant with my chosen one. I have sworn to my servant David, I will establish your offspring forever and build your throne for all generations. God promised David that he would make someone in the line of David be the ruler of God's people eternally. God's people in the Old Testament rejoiced that God would keep that promise. And today we even see the fulfillment of that promise because Jesus is the ancestor of David who is on the throne ruling God's people eternally. He already rules God's people. But one day, when Jesus comes back to earth, he will begin ruling God's people in an even fuller and more open way. Do you ever question whether God keeps his promises? Well, if you do, think back to God's promise to David 3,000 years ago. God has kept that promise. He will forever, and he will keep every other promise that he made to you. Have a great Thursday.